Hey guys, this is Martin Wright from Argos Dog Training. Today we're going to talk about house training your dog. Really, we're going to be talking about potty training, part of house training more than the whole complete house training. We'll be talking about what we need to do in order to make sure that our dog does not relieve themselves within the confines of our home. Okay, so house training, potty training actually, because house training and potty training are two different things. Potty training is teaching the dog not to go to the bathroom or not to relieve themselves inside the house, while house training is teaching the dog how to behave in general in the house. That includes not going to the bathroom in the house, but also includes things like not knocking over the trash, not jumping on the counter and stealing food, not barking out the window when you see other dogs and other people outside, all those kind of things are also house training. Today we're talking about potty training, of course. Now, the techniques that I mentioned here will be useful for 99.9% of dogs in the world. I've helped many people house train, potty train their dogs. I've seen a lot of situations with house training and potty training, and a lot of problem situations. But this is basically for the average homeowner or dog owner that has a puppy that they need to house train, or just a regular dog that maybe they just adopted and the dog is not house trained. This is not for those people who are dealing with those serious house training issues, things like containment phobia, separation anxiety, and things like that. These are for dogs that just don't know that going outside is what they should do. This is not to stop excited urination or submissive urination, which are different problems as well. All right, so I hope that's clear. So when we're house training dogs, there are 4 steps. You could almost think of them as 4 legs that hold up the chair of house training, if you want to think of it that way. But there are 4 things that we need to keep in mind when we're house training our dog. The first thing is that your dog needs to understand the crate. Why? Because dogs tend not to go to the bathroom where they eat and where they sleep. I could feed dogs in the crate, and I can also allow them to sleep in the crate. So it makes it a place where they're going to be really hesitant and where they're going to really try hard not to go if they're in there, right? So that's the first part. Get your dog comfortable with the crate, let them use the crate, and that way when you're not watching your pup, they can go into the crate and they're not going to have accidents there. They're also learning at that time to hold it while they're in the crate rather than to try to signal you. So that way in time, your dog is not hitting the bell on the door every 5 minutes, right? So using the crate, that's the first thing. Make sure your dog is comfortable in the crate. If your dog has an accident in the crate, then definitely, if it's one accident, it's not a big deal. But if it's multiple accidents, please contact a dog trainer who will be able to help you through that, because chances are your dog is one of those dogs that doesn't really mind going to the bathroom in the crate that much. So the crate is the first part. The second thing that I need to do if I'm going to house train a dog is I'm going to put them on a schedule. That schedule is going to include feeding and water, and it's going to include, of course, playtime and other things as well, but mainly feeding and water. If I know what time I give the dog food and water every day, then I will be able to predict when that dog will go to the bathroom every day. For food, it's pretty simple. You put it down, let's say it's 6:59:59, you're looking at your watch, and 7 o'clock the food goes down. 7:15, food comes up. Water is a little bit different. Water, a lot of times people think that water needs to be down and out for the dog 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, but that is actually not the case. Dogs are able to travel to the water source when they require water. For me, if I'm house training a difficult to house train dog, I'll put water down as well, 15 minutes at a time. I'd allow the dog to drink as much water as they want to drink in those 15 minutes, and then I'll remove it. Of course, this is within reason. I have seen dogs that will drink as much water as you give them. So if the dog is drinking too much water, then of course you should cut back. But for most dogs, they will drink what they need and then they'll walk away and then just dump out the bowl. You'll have a time as to when they took in water and a time as to when they took in food. From there, if we watch them, we'll be able to predict when they're going to evacuate their systems, and they're going to let that go. All right. And a lot of times you could tell within 15 to 30 minutes when the dog is going to need to go to the bathroom. All right. Itty bit's going in and out of her crate. There you go, kiddo. So that's something that you would want to be aware of, is what time do they get food, what time do they get water, and then you'll be able to predict when it will come out within reason. If that's difficult for you, then of course we could keep a notepad. And the notepad, every client that I had that has had to use a notepad has been able to really predict, when things happen. All right. So that's the second rule. The third rule is to watch your dog. Discipline. It's our own personal discipline. Whenever the dog is outside of the crate, I need to be watching, or an adult who's aware of the world around needs to be watching that dog. It can't leave it with somebody who's not really paying attention. If I'm not paying attention, the dog goes in the crate. So if I'm sitting right here on my computer and I'm typing away, and I'm not watching the dog is in the crate. If I need to get up and go bring my clothes to the washing machine in the basement, and I'm not bringing the dog with me, then they go in the crate. All right. So any opportunity they might have to sneak off and have an accident is eliminated, because either I'm watching you or you're in the crate. All right. So that's the third part. Another part of the third part is making sure what we do when we see them having an accident. So the idea is that either I'm watching you or in the crate. So if a dog has an accident, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it before it even happens. I'm going to be able to identify the signals or signs that they're going to have an accident before it even happens. Dogs tend to go to the bathroom when there's a change of state. So if you're coming out of the crate into the house, there tends to be accidents there. If you're playing with your dog and you stop, there tends to be accidents there. If you're training your dog and you stop, there tends to be accidents there. If your dog went for a walk and just came back in, even although they went outside, a lot of times there'll be a time when there will be an accident. So when I see the dog starting to prepare to go to the bathroom indoors, what I want to do is interrupt that. And I usually would interrupt it by going, hey, hey, something like that, right? To really get the dog to whip their head around and pay attention to me and stop doing what they're thinking right then. At that moment, I need to rush as fast as I can to get the dog outdoors. So I would grab the puppy. Of course, I have everything piled up right next to the door, meaning my flip-flops are there, my sweatshirt is there, my bags are there, my treats are there, I have my spare key there. I have everything I need so I could just grab it quickly as I'm rushing my dog out the door. Some of you guys have dogs that are hard to get hold of in a situation like that. If that's the case, then when I start scheduling my dog's food and water and I start to predict when they're gonna be able to go, then I'll be able to hook a leash on them before they're ready to go. For example, if I notice the pattern is I give my dog food and water at 7 a.m. in the morning, and then they do number 1 and number 2 at 12 noon, then at 11:45, I might hook on my leash and watch them. I might hook on my leash and just bring them out and stay outside and then they go as well. But sometimes I might just hook on the leash and watch them so that way I can interrupt any kind of bathroom behavior that might be going on inside the house and let the dog really understand that they're not supposed to go inside the house. So when you take your dog out to go to the bathroom, when you're rushing them outside, what you want to do is you want to have them on the leash, because you got to verify that they actually do go. And then you want to basically just hold the leash next to your body. If your dog moves around, you could pivot. But I would not recommend that you move any further, because what happens is that just being in this one space, the dog will, forget about the excitement of being outside, and then they will quickly start to have to go. But if we let them explore and go further, then it will be more difficult for them to go quickly to the bathroom. All right, so close, 6-foot leash, hold it close to your body, wait. If your dog needs to go, they might pivot, they might sniff a bit, and just pivot with them. And then once they go, reward them with a lot of food and inside. All right? All right. So that's the third part, is making sure we're ready to rush outside. The fourth and final part is making sure that we clean up with an enzyme-based cleaner. That's a cleaner that's like Nature's Miracle or Simple Solutions. There's many other brands that also have enzymes in it, but you want to make sure that the bottle says enzyme-based, enzymic formula, or something to that effect. because the enzymes actually eat the odor molecules, and dogs tend to go to the bathroom where they smelled that they went to the bathroom before. We use that in our house training as well, especially with more difficult dogs. If a dog has an accident, I will clean it up in the house. I'll put it in a loosely tied bag and I'll bring that outside so the dog so it smells outside like how it does inside with where the dog had the accident. But when I'm cleaning up, I also want to make sure I clean up thoroughly with my enzyme-based cleaner, making sure that anywhere any of these micro droplets could have gotten to, that my cleaner also made it there. If your dog happens to go to the bathroom, let's say in a corner, make sure that you don't just wipe the floor, but you also wipe the walls as well, so that way any micro droplets that might have attached themselves to the wall, the enzymes also have an opportunity to clean that. I don't like to house train on carpet because if a dog has a urine accident on carpet, it's common that the spot will be tiny, but the subfloor, we don't know. Maybe it's spread out along the subfloor and we don't know exactly how far it went, and cleaning with the enzyme-based cleaner could be difficult in that situation. So those are the 4 parts of house training. As you start to do these, if you have any questions or concerns, you could definitely drop them in the comments below or reach out to us on any one of our social media outlets, which are also will be linked in the description below. So until the next time, if you have any questions, let us know. Enjoy your day and enjoy your dog. All right, little one. Let's get your clothing on, huh? You might, yeah, you might want this for B-roll, right? Here we go. She knows what the deal is. So for her clothes for the winter time, I actually had an old wool sweater. It was actually fleece that I shrunk by accident. And then, because of that, I was able to cut the sleeve. So this is the sleeve. It makes a nice little sweater out of it. And then I went to the store and I bought her a hoodie because I like hoodies and she likes hoodies. So she'll just let me put that on. Yeah, so she gets 2 layers for the cold. But then again, I think it's like 10 degrees or less out there right now. There you go. Pull that all the way down. So her chest is completely covered there. She has a hoodie, but I'm not gonna make her wear her hoodie right now. There you go. That goes on. And then we have to go quick to go potty. All right, let's go, puppy. All right. All right, so we're on. Everything working? What's the best light? We have to be quick with this. I think the best light is here. If you're there and I'm here, then the sun's in my face. And it's annoying.